you want to invite to your next slumber party? Jason, Freddy, Michael, or just maybe the Driller Killer?
Sleep shirts with a flair for horror. Rock it out with Freddy, chill out with Jason, and pig out with Michael. 90 nightmares, add some spare to your next slumber party.
Announcing 90 Nightmares sleep shirts, exclusively available at deaditesondeck.com.
VHS attack. In your living room, creepy little gremlins, oozing slime in your VCR. Stacks of films to frighten and entertain, hiding in your closet and duplicating on your shelves. It's time to watch. It's time to be scared. Don't look behind you. It's a mess back there. It's a VHS overload. Don't look behind you. It's a mess back there. It's a VHS overload. Oh, 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 oh.
Howdy, gang, and welcome to yet another VHS Overload. Here in a little bit, we're going to be talking about Fave horror VHS covers from 1989, and I've picked 10 of my favorites to show to you guys. I got my old buddy Jack here with me. He's a little bit brighter tonight. I charged his batteries up, so hopefully he's shedding a little more light on the room tonight. And the reason, of course, if you didn't know that I've got Jack, is because it is October and we're getting ever closer to the Halloween season. Well, we're in the Halloween season, but we're getting ever closer to Halloween. I do have a new shirt with the rainbow on it. This one says Good Vibes on it. I like these vintage shirts, and they're very, very soft. You can get them from Amazon in case anybody's interested. But we're going to get to these VHS covers here in just a little bit, but I want to, get some housekeeping stuff out of the way first. Hey, Patrick. So those of you that haven't heard me talk about the QR code that is showing up in the upper left-hand corner of the screen, that is for my Deadites on Deck horror shop at deaditesondeck.com. But you don't even have to worry about putting the URL in You don't have to type it in. Just get out your phone, scan that QR code with your favorite QR code app, or in a lot of cases, your phone camera will do. I tried it out with my phone and it worked just fine. And that will give you a link you can click on and go straight to my horror shop. I've got a bunch of new designs that you can put on t-shirts and hats and tote bags and mouse pads and all that good stuff. Plus, we've got pyro plushies. We've got booga booga bears. Um, what else we got? Scented candles. I'm soon going to be having the Ozzy Osbourne tribute candle, the Prince of Darkness, and I can't wait to get it put together. I've got supplies coming in for me to make the first one. Uh, Hopefully by this weekend, I can make that. So I'll probably be showing it off on an upcoming stream or video that I do. So head on over to deaditesondeck.com, whether you want to punch in the website or you just want to scan the QR code and shop to your heart's content. Okay. Patrick, you say movie posters were so much better back then. Most were paintings of the characters played by the actors and actresses. Don't think they do painting movie posters anymore. I don't think they do, Patrick. And you are exactly right. They did do a fantastic job. But there was a lot more creativity that went into things like that back in the day. Even the VHS covers, which I'm going to be talking about tonight, which were a lot of times back in the day, they were reproductions of those movie posters. So, I'm a big fan of AI. Y'all may have heard me talk about AI, but AI, sadly, AI has its limitations. I mean, I'm utilizing it all I can, but the thing about AI is it can make mistakes no matter how meticulously you do your prompt. And there is no substitute for things like Patrick was mentioning, which were paintings back in the day. I'm not an artist, so I create some of the stuff or a lot of the stuff that I use for my channel, some of the stuff I do for the shop site, using AI. I write the lyrics for songs, but I do use an AI program called Make Best Music that turns them into songs because I'm not a singer, folks. I can write lyrics all day long, but you would not want me to sing and you would not want me to play an instrument because I can't play an instrument to save my life, not even a guitar or piano or anything like that. So, like I said, I'm a fan of AI to a certain extent, but a true artist, like my friend Candace, who does the Friday Foolish shows with me. Now she's a true blue artist, and her stuff is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And I wish I had her on here right now so she could show off some stuff. She has showed off some stuff in the past that she has done on the stream. Hey, Gory Tiger. So what else have I got going on? Well, I have a giveaway going on for new subscribers only. So far, nobody's taken me up on it. So, if nobody takes me up on it, by Halloween at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, then I guess I'm going to have to do some kind of trivia contest or caption contest to offload these movies. Hey, Clifton, I'm doing pretty good tonight. How are you doing? I'm glad to see, several of you guys, and maybe there's some gals in here too that are watching, but several of you guys that are in the chat tonight. That's always makes me happy to see people interacting in the chat. Oh, well, happy birthday, Clifton. I think I did wish you happy birthday on Facebook, by the way. But I hope you have had a great birthday. But let's see. I've got this giveaway going on. I'm giving out 3 5-movie Halloween prize packs. They're all horror movies to some extent. And, you know, heck, let me get them out here again and we'll just show you guys and gals what the movies are again. Well, maybe not. Sorry about that, folks. I forgot I had Halloween. I forgot I had my Halloweens on my Halloween bag. So maybe next time. Or, you know, if you're perusing my live streams and my videos, I have showed them off on other streams and videos. You did think you haven't seen it? Yeah, I'm trying to think when I did it. If I did it late last night or real super early this morning, because you guys know me, I stay up at all hours of day or night. I'm not a normal person. I think I must be a vampire or something, or was a vampire in another life. But how can you enter this Halloween prize pack giveaway? Well, first of all, you need to subscribe. So if you've been dancing around whether you should subscribe or not, now's a great time to do so because you can enter this contest. And I'm going to do y'all a solid, and I'm going to put the link. 44. Oh, you're still a baby yet, Clifton. I'll be 50 next year. I turned 49 this past June. But first of all, you need to subscribe and you have to let me see your channel handle or screen name. I know some people, I don't even know how to do it. You know, I just never thought about it. But I know some people hide their screen name or their channel handle or whatever you want to call it. And they have every right to do that if that's what they want. But if you want to be entered in this contest, you have to let me see your channel handle or screen name. So don't hide it if you want to enter the contest. So the next thing you have to do after you subscribe, well, I think they're back and then some, Tom. Because I gained all the ones back that I think it's a YouTube thing. I really do. I don't really think that people are unsubscribing. I think, I don't know, maybe like I've said before, maybe YouTube's trying to keep all of us humble or something. But I do have 992 subscribers now. So I'm 8 away from my next milestone that I've set for myself of 1,000 subscribers. So if you've been dancing around, you know, whether you should subscribe or not, now's a great time because you could enter the Halloween prize pack giveaway. I'm giving 3 5-movie prize packs away. They're all Blu-rays. They are pre-watched, but they all play beautifully, folks. Okay. So after you subscribe, you need to comment under the video that I put in the chat. And let me know what your channel handle or screen name is so I can match it up with the list of subscribers, okay? So what else we got going on here? Well, let's just segue into the ways that you could support me and the channel and it won't cost you a dime. One is by subscribing, folks. That costs you absolutely nothing. And you can enter the contest now. Also, hit that notification. Yes, Tom's right. And folks, not only subscribe, watch. Yeah, I want everybody to watch too, not just merely subscribe. Hopefully you can find something that you like on my channel. Otherwise, you know, what's the point? You can hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the streams or videos I've got coming up. And you can hit the like button on things you especially enjoy. And heck, if you enjoy everything, hit that like button just clear across the board, folks. And here's one other way that you can support me and the channel and it won't cost you a dime and it won't cost the person you tell a dime. Is you can share with friends and family members that you think might enjoy the content I'm putting out. You can share my channel with them. And again, I'll do y'all another solid by putting my channel handle for Deadites on Deck in the chat there. All right, so let's go ahead and kick this off and start talking about these 10 horror VHS covers that were some of my favorites from 1989. And this is going to be the last Fave horror VHS covers because I mainly wanted to cover the years 1980 to 1989. Okay. And if there's a clamoring for me to continue and go into the 90s, then I'd be happy to do so. But most of my favorite VHS covers are from the 80s. Hey, the poet. Thank you, sir. This is my buddy Jack. I got him last year. And so it's time once again to have him joining me for the live streams and maybe some of the videos that I do. I think what I'm going to be talking about for the next VHS Overload is why we love video stores. And I know that there were a lot of us back in the day that visited video stores quite frequently. It's the Dean Cundy pumpkin. It does look like the Dean Cundy pumpkin, doesn't it, Tom? I'll say that, it's a Dean Cundy pumpkin. So y'all can look forward to that on next week's VHS Overload. And hopefully we'll have a full packed house in here and everybody can share their video store memories from back in the day. Okay. So let's get started. And the first one I wanted to show you guys and gals, if there's any gals in here. I did too, Patrick. That I absolutely love renting movies at the video store. There was nothing like going to the video store back in the day. Nothing like it. So this is for Intruder, which I don't know how many of you guys or gals have seen Intruder. I know I've talked about it plenty. I absolutely love this movie. And this was directed by the late, great Scott Spiegel, who recently passed away, God rest his soul. And he was a friend and collaborator of Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell, Rob Tapert, even Ted Raimi, all those guys from Michigan. Tom, you say, my brother worked at a video store in 1989, the Brussels video store. That's cool. Patrick, you've seen Intruder. Well, then Patrick knows exactly what I'm talking about whenever I talk about my love of Intruders. Intruder is just gory good fun. Now, I'm not going to go into the total plot of Intruder because that's not what we really do on these episodes of VHS Overload. We talk about the covers. So there are various covers for Intruder. But this one in particular I like because you have the severed head that's been mangled. You have a beer can there. You have a shopping bag with a bloody handprint and it's torn. It appears to have some groceries in it. And it has blood, a trail of blood coming out of it. And it has one of my favorite, most ridiculous lines ever. And I'm actually going to use it in an upcoming video. So y'all be on the lookout for it. I'm just crazy about this store. And if you've seen Intruder, you know exactly what I'm talking about there. So not only do we have that fantastic picture, the fantastic quote from the movie, but we have this bright red threatening lettering that says Intruder on it. Now, the title might not be too enticing, but the title with the way it's put on that VHS cover, coupled with that picture, that's just solid gold entertainment right there. This is another one that would ensure that I would rent it. However, I did not end up renting this one. This one I watched many years after the heyday of my video rental days. And I think I had heard about it from either interview with Scott Spiegel or Sam Raimi or something to that effect. You haven't seen it, Tom? I think you would like it. Actually, I really do. I think most any gore and horror fan would enjoy Intruder. So anyway, that is Intruder. And Tom, that one is next on my list. Shocker. How did you know that, Tom? How did you know I was going to be talking about Shocker tonight? Okay. So this is a Wes Craven film. Yeah, Pet Cemetery is next on the list. It's like you're in my brain, Tom. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Patrick, he said, do you remember the movie store in the mall, Suncoast? I used to love buying movies there, even hard to find ones. Patrick, I don't think my mall had a Suncoast, but I've heard people talk about it. I think my husband Steve has talked about Suncoast and that he got stuff there back in the early days of VHS. But back to Shocker. Shocker is a very low budget movie. Wes Craven did a fantastic job with it. Ted Raimi has a small part in this. Speaking of the Raimi brothers, but I absolutely love this cover, and I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller so y'all can see that cover better. Yeah, I don't have Society on my list, Tom, but that is a worthy cover. I will say that. So you have Wes Craven in kind of small red lettering, or Wes Craven's, and then you have Shocker with those lightning bolts coming out, and it's got red and purple. You have the main bad guy, Horace Pinker, getting electrocuted in the electric chair there with more lightning coming out of there, lightning bolts. Now it says the tagline, mass murderer Horace Pinker was put to death. Now he's really mad. And then you've got that awesome picture there. So even though the movie's not that great, it's still fun. And who could resist a cover like this? I certainly couldn't. Clifton, you say Miss Suncoast and Sam Goody. Yeah, Sam Goody I've heard about too. I don't think my mall had a Sam Goody either. Leviathan, I don't have that one on my list, but yeah, that's another good one. Shocker was fun. Not the best made horror movie, but it was still fun. And I own it, and I think I own it on Blu-ray now. But back in the day when I saw this and I knew it was a Wes Craven movie and all that stuff, I mean, this was just the pinnacle of my enjoyment years of VHS. Was really my family finally got a VCR. We were late adopters of a VCR in our home. Late 80s. So I kind of had to go back and watch a lot of those early 80s stuff. Some of it I'd already seen, but I'd seen it on TV and it was, edited. So it really opened up a new door for me as far as horror entertainment. But there's another great cover with Shocker. And then the next one, of course, is Pet Cemetery. Now, I love this. And I'm a huge, 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 huge fan of Stephen King. I've read just about everything that man has ever written. In my older age and stuff, and where I don't have as much time to read, I've switched over, at least partially to audiobooks so I don't miss out on stuff, which allows me to, like if it's slow at work and I'm waiting for tickets to come in or something, I can listen to part of an audiobook I got the new Ozzy Osbourne autobiography, Last Rites, and I know it's going to get sad, but I'm enjoying it. Really, really. I mean, whether you like Ozzy Osbourne or not, Ozzy Osbourne was an entertainer. And he knew how to talk to people. He knew how to write and all that stuff, as well as being a fantastic one of a kind rock performer. But I won't get off too much on Ozzy Osbourne because y'all are probably thinking, well, we came here to hear about VHS covers, not Ozzy Osbourne. But anyway, let's talk about this cover, shall we? I was very, very excited when I found out that Pet Cemetery was coming out on VHS. Sadly, I didn't get to see this at the movie theater, but I remember this cover. I remember it clearly. And Zelda, the character of Zelda, and if you don't know about Zelda and you haven't read Pet Cemetery and you haven't seen this movie, holy cow, folks. Zelda scared me. She scared the crap out of me. I think she scared a lot of people. If you watch the Unearthed and Untold, The Path to Pet Cemetery, you will hear a lot of people say Zelda was, more than anything else in that movie, that was what scared them. Tom, you say Puppet Master and Warlock. Yeah. And Patrick, you say I like his music. Used to watch his reality show. See, I missed out on all of that, and I feel kind of sad now at times because Ozzy Osbourne's no longer with us. But I've actually went back and watched the Osbournes. I think I'm on the third season. There were 4 seasons of that. I've also watched Ozzy and Jack's World Detour, and oh my gosh, I love that. I laughed and I enjoyed the heck out of that. Um, Tommy said the cat was great. Yeah, Church, the cat that played Church in this. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about this cover. So you have Stephen King's in red. It says sometimes dead is better. I can't say it like Judd Crandall with that lovely, Judd Crandall wasn't he was a Maine guy. So he had that Maine accent. But I can't do it like him. So unfortunately, yeah, I agree. Fantastic cover because you've got that sometimes dead is better. You've got Pet Cemetery, white text on a black background. You've got the top half of Pax Cow's face, who is the guy that gets hit by the truck, and Lewis Creed, the doctor at the university, can't save him, but he comes back and keeps visiting and revisiting Lewis throughout the story and the movie to try to warn him about the Pet Cemetery. Well, actually, what's beyond the Pet Cemetery, which is the Micmac Indian burial ground. So, and then you've got almost like a torn page, and then you have the Pet Cemetery. Then you have a little light that's kind of highlighting what's beyond the Pet Cemetery, and you also have the cat Church who's walking in the Pet Cemetery. Very haunting cover, a very eye-catching cover. It's something that I don't think anybody could ignore. I didn't like the remake either, Tom. I took a chance and I watched it and I absolutely hated it. Absolutely hated it. People can say what they want about the original Pet Cemetery, that it's a hokey film or whatever, but I'll stick with the original. I'll definitely stick with the original. Oh, you saw it in the cinema. I'm glad I didn't waste any money on it, seeing it at the. Well, honestly, folks, I didn't watch it illegally or anything. I think it was available on Amazon Prime. Patrick, are you talking about Pet Cemetery? I don't know if they did or not. If they did, I didn't know anything about it. or didn't hear anything about it. So, but I'm not saying it's not possible. Because I miss things sometimes, folks. And I'm sorry for sneezing, gang. I've been, I don't know if it's allergies, if it's a cold, or what it is, but I've been having headaches. And usually it gets a little bit better after I sneeze sometimes. But I've been feeling stopped up and all that. But anyway, another great cover with Pet Cemetery. So moving on to the fourth one on my list, which is Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Sorry, that picture's kind of blurry. But as I've said before on previous episodes of VHS Overload, most all of the Friday the 13th covers I enjoy and get something out of. Thank you, Clifton. Thank you, Patrick. I need all the blessings anybody can give me, to be honest. So, this is always called Jason Takes Manhattan, but actually only a small part of the film takes place in New York, right? And the creators of the movie, or whoever did the initial publicizing of the movie, got in a little bit of trouble by having the I Love New York sentiment, with Jason bringing a machete down into it, or a knife, or whatever you want to call it. And they had to change it, which I thought that was so cool. But, you can't always do what you want to do. Yes, Uncle Bill, I know this isn't the classic cover. But it's still a cool ass cover, I still think it's a kick ass cover, because you've got Jason's mask in the background, and there's sort of like a blackish and a reddish and all that, and his mask is hovering over New York City. I like it nonetheless. I also like the classic cover, but this is probably a cover that a lot of people have seen as well. Too much time on the ship. Exactly, Clifton. I kind of forgot where I was going with that. So much so that a lot of people refer to Friday the 13th Part 8 as Jason Takes a Cruise Ship instead of Jason Takes Manhattan. I would have really liked to have seen them do more in New York City. I mean, one of my favorite parts of after they get to New York City and Jason's there is when the punks, the bad kids, are hanging out, and they're got their boombox playing, and Jason comes along and basically obliterates it. And they're like, "Hey man," they're pulling out knives and stuff. And he just lifts up his mask and like, whoa, man, it's okay, it's cool, Yeah, the mask with the knife through it. But Uncle Bill, isn't that the one that also has the I Love New York? And didn't they get into a little bit of trouble using that? Patrick, you say they're filming a Friday the 13th prequel TV show, Crystal Lake, taking place in the 1970s. Jason is little and his mom is the main character. Yeah, I'd heard about that, Patrick. I'm kind of intrigued about that myself. And Patrick, are you talking about this cover? This cover works for me. But I understand the allure of the cover that Uncle Bill is talking about. And Uncle Bill also says that Part 4 has to have the best cover. Part 4 does have a fantastic cover, and I'm sure that I've talked about it on an earlier episode of VHS Overload. So if you want to hear me talk about it, you probably have to go back through these to catch that one. All right, so that's Friday the 13th Part 8. The next one is not a favorite in the Halloween series by any stretch of the imagination, but I still think it has a cool cover. for Halloween 5 because you have Michael Myers' mask. That looks a hell of a lot better than the actual mask in the movie. But you have the knife blade, and then you have Jamie Lloyd um, kind of highlighted in that knife blade. And it says, Michael lives, and this time they're ready. Halloween 5, the revenge of Michael Myers. Halloween 4 was the return of Michael Myers. This is the revenge of Michael Myers. Uncle Bill, you say part 8, yeah, the poster was the New York thing, and they had to pull it. The cover is way better than the actual movie. Which one? You talking about Friday 13th Part 8 or talking about Halloween 5, Uncle Bill? Back then, no streaming. Yeah, exactly, Tom. You know, some people swear by streaming, and I'm not going to get off on a whole tirade against streaming. I do my fair share of streaming as well, folks. And I realize that there's so much physical media still yet that can be had, and people run out of room. I get it. But folks, I like to have a physical copy that I can hold in my hands. And I know people tell me, Dana, it's not going anywhere. It's in the cloud. Well, so sorry. I don't trust the cloud 100%. Okay. Something could happen in my eyes. Yeah, I mean, this is not a favorite of too many people as far as the Halloween franchise, but the cover is awesome. I think the cover would make, if I saw this on the video rental shelves back in the day, this would make me want to watch it. This would make me want to rent it. Patrick, you say, I think Halloween has more flops than hits, but I still enjoy them. Yeah, you're kind of like me, Patrick. All right, so there is Halloween 5. And the next one, and I think I had the original one on one of the episodes of VHS Overload. But this is Stepfather 2, Make Room for Daddy. And I love this because there's something so ominous about the Stepfather 2 cover. Now, I love the original Stepfather better than any of the sequels to come after, especially Part 3. Part 3 is just god awful. Because guess who plays the stepfather in that one? It's not Terry O'Quinn. It's the guy that played, not the original John Boy, but when John Boy was missing in action in the war, and then when he comes back, it's not the same John Boy, it's a different one. So they have that guy playing the stepfather. So you think this one's a better cover than the first stepfather, Uncle Bill? Well, you know, yeah, Part 3 gets plastic surgery, I know. And it has Terry from Three's Company, from the later episodes of Three's Company. Tom, you say, how can they get the full experience pushing a button and immediately there's the movie? Nothing to it. Technology. Yeah, at least a lot of my friends that are really into streaming stuff, they mainly say it's a space thing. You know, that they just don't have any more space to put any more movies anywhere in their house. 1,000 thumbnails instead of movie covers. I mean, I guess I remain a collector at heart, and I like to have something I can hold in my hands and I can look at visually, just like you say, rather than 1,000 thumbnails, right? But I understand both sides of it. I understand when you run out of room, you run out of room. I just haven't got to that point yet. But back to the Stepfather 2 cover. So you have Terry O'Quinn's character of the stepfather, looking very ominous in the background. You have the wedding cake with the little bride on there, and 2 kids and a dog. And You have Stepfather in stark black, and then a bloody 2 behind the Stepfather title. And this one I've always liked. You forgot about Stepfather 2, Tom? Yeah, I need to actually go back and rewatch this one again because, like I said, of the 3 Stepfather movies, I like the first 2. The third one, I haven't seen it in many moons and just don't have any urge to watch it because for me, Terry O'Quinn was the stepfather. He had that pinned down. Hey, Tails Toad. Um, Meg Foster. Yeah, Uncle Bill. Meg Foster, when I'm sorry to say this, but Meg Foster was it Lords of, I think it was Lords of Salem, and I was like, holy crap. I was like, what happened to Meg Foster? I know she got old, but geez Louise. I hope some of that was makeup effects. Tom, you said the first from 1987 was a massive success. Yeah, and for those that watched when I talked about that cover, that is loosely based on the case of John List, if you don't know who John List is, he's a guy who was drowning in a sea of bills, and he was trying to live higher than his means, and he had lost his job and didn't tell his family, and he had been abused by his mother, who was living in the attic of their enormous house. And he just snapped one day and brought his kids home from school. He before he killed his wife and his mother. They were still in the house, and then he killed the kids one at a time as they came into the house from school. Then he left, went to a new town, changed his name and everything, married another woman who had absolutely no idea. And he was only caught when John Walsh did an episode of America's Most Wanted about John List, and a neighbor of John List with, of course he had changed his name by then. So, oh my gosh, this guy looks like my neighbor. And so, but he had been on the run for 15 years. It took them 15 years to find this guy. So the stepfather is loosely based on the case of John List. Let's see. Patrick, you say I love 1 and 2. Uncle Bill, you say the first one is a legitimately great film. Uncle Bill, you also say, yeah, she was a little old for Full Frontal in that one, LOL. I know, TJ. We're all going to get old. I'm already feeling it, folks, but I was just shocked. I was shocked. I know everybody gets old, and maybe it's just been because I hadn't seen Meg Foster for a while. But wow. Yeah. Yeah, those eyes, Clifton. She has the most unique eyes I've ever seen in anybody. You could literally, man or woman, you could drown in those eyes. Tommy said, yes, I know that big house creepy. He laid the body side by side. Yes, he did. Like in the big ballroom of this house, he did. He was, yeah, he is very much a psycho. I have a morbid curiosity with true crime too, Patrick. Yeah, I've read my fair share and seen my fair share of movies about true crime cases. All right, so there is Stepfather 3. And the next one, I like Sleepaway Camp 2 better than I do Sleepaway Camp 3, but they both have fantastic covers. This one, not quite as much as part 2, but it's still pretty cool. It says she's back to slash last year's record. And of course, that is not Pamela Springsteen there, but a model where you can see the bottom half of her face, the hair. She's got some boobage there. And then Sleepaway Camp 3, Teenage Wasteland written across the upper part of her shirt there. And you have a screaming girl and reflected in the blade of the knife. Yeah, I like this one. I like the other one slightly better because it has the girl, again, not Pamela Springsteen. She's got a backpack that has like a Jason mask and a Freddy Krueger glove and all that stuff. It says, when you go to camping or when you go to camp, just take the essentials. Um, Tanya Roberts, yeah, she had some incredible eyes too. X-Ray, you say Sleepaway Camp 3 is great, except for that weird love scene with Michael J. Ballard. I'd have to agree with that, X-Ray. I definitely have to agree with that. Yeah, there's something, ugh, I love Michael J. Pollard, but don't, at that age, and it's not like he got naked. He got down to his long johns. If y'all don't know what long johns are, other than a restaurant, look that up. I'm sure Uncle Bill, he lives in the. I don't want to offend anybody, but I think Uncle Bill knows what I mean when I say this. He lives in the sticks, like I used to before I moved to the big metropolis of Louisville. And, truth be told, I'd like to go back to that way of life. And my mom told me when I was growing up that, I always said I wanted to get out of the country. I wanted to go to the city. And then, like they always say, you get to the city, you want to go back to the country. And that's exactly what this gal wants to do. But I love my husband. And so that's where we gotta be right now. Oh yeah, yeah. X-Ray, you say it's more disturbing than that weird scene in Psycho 3 with Jeff Fahey and the lamb. Exactly. That scene always weirds me out too. Yeah, it would to act in an 80s slasher movie. Yeah, I would absolutely love that. All right. So the next one we got is maybe one that not a lot of you have seen out there, but this is The Dead Next Door. I love this picture of the zombie with the mouth cover on. The eyes, the cuts on the face, the way the mouth is open, and you know, it's clearly wanting to eat your ass. But it's fantastic. That one simple image on a black background with the title The Dead, and the dead is in bright red, The Dead Next Door. The taglines: how do you kill something that won't die? Where do you run when they're everywhere? Another simple but effective cover for The Dead Next Door. Um, X-Ray, you said, man, I've seen it. The cover is better than the movie. So, yeah, the movie's a little bit of a novelty. There are certain people's voices that are used, like you can hear Bruce Campbell's voice on radios and maybe on phone calls and stuff like that. I think you can hear Sam Raimi's voice. So I'm pretty sure those guys helped out with the movie, but I think this was a J.R. Bookwalter joint. Um, Clifton, you say you saw it once, don't remember it. I think I have a Blu-ray of it back there on my shelf. Um, X-Ray, you say a movie about a SWAT team of zombie busters sounds cool on paper. Yeah. Uh, J.R. Bookwalter, that's right, Uncle Bill. Um, X-Ray, you said, man, only J.R. flick I like was Polymorph. I haven't seen that one. I need to try that one out. Um, Tom, I do know the H.H. Holmes story, and Steve likes to watch a lot of true crime stuff too, so he's watched like a ton of that stuff. You recently saw the documentary. Um, Uncle Bill, you say it has its charm for sure. Uh, Dead Next Door is just done way too cheap. It is definitely done on the cheap. Um, I don't know, Tom. I don't recall there being a movie. I know Uncle Bill is into a lot of the true crime stuff. Uncle Bill, have they ever made a movie about H.H. Holmes? And maybe I missed it. All right, so that's The Dead Next Door. Now here's one. I want to say Uncle Bill was on a watch along that I did for this movie. And correct me if I'm wrong, Uncle Bill. But offerings. Again, this is a kind of low budget, sort of cheesy in places slasher film, but it's got a fantastic cover. And I've always loved watching this film and have so much nostalgia for this one. This was one I rented back in the day. And it has that very ominous tagline, remember him before he dismembers you. And you have a very ominous looking person who's holding out a present wrapped in shiny paper with a shiny red bow. But oddly enough, it is leaking blood from it. Then you have offerings in bright red. Let's see. Patrick, you say they were going to make a true crime movie with Brad Pitt as H.H. Holmes, but it didn't happen. X-Ray, you say Scorsese was supposed to make one with DiCaprio years back. Don't know if it's in production. Uncle Biggie said, I'm sure some dipshit like Uli Lamel probably did at one time, but nothing big budget. I agree. This is an insanely good cover for a movie that some people would say, why make an insanely good cover for a movie like this? Actually, you said that cover reminds me of that Saturday Night Live skit. Tom, you never heard this movie? Hey, buddy, look this one up. I think you would like it. Yes, Uncle Bill, you are right. And the movie is freaking great in that it directly rips off Halloween. Exactly. Tom, you never seen it at the video store? It was very prominent in the video stores around my little bitty hometown. Hi, Vic Rules. Actually, you say Uli Lamel's one legit great movie was Devonsville Terror. Devonsville Terror was pretty good. The OST needs a proper release. Patrick, you say I've seen it. Now, if you've seen Offerings, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I'd say, look it up, go to the usual suspects, try YouTube. I think it was on YouTube at one time or another. It may be on Tubi. Tubi has almost everything, folks. But yeah, another fantastic cover, whether you like the movie, the movie's meh, or you hate the movie, it's still got a kick-ass cover. So that's Offerings. And the last one I want to talk about tonight, and I'm loving the conversation in here, guys. Thank you so much for this tonight. Is one that was, I don't think this was one that actually showed up in the video stores back in the day, but I have to show it. And I should have brought out my actual copy of it. And if I had thought, I would have, because Steve bought me this many moons ago at a horror convention we were at. And this is for The Basement by Camp Motion Pictures. Now, if you know anything about Camp Motion Pictures, you know that they made a lot of really bad movies, but a lot of them were also fun too. But who could deny this kick-ass cover for The Basement? It's got The Basement and bright red lettering. They're Waiting for You, Lost Super 8 feature film. It's part of the Retro 80s horror collection. You have 5 films on DVD plus a VHS tape, and that's exactly what I have. And none of the movies are good, but are they fun? That's the thing that you got to ask yourself. They may be bad, but they're also fun. So you also have these monster hands that are grabbing this woman as she's trying to come up the stairs. Just this is almost ripped from the video stores of my youth. I love the way it's done. Absolutely love the way it was done. And I think the movies that are on the VHS and on the DVD are from the 80s. They just got released, quite a bit later. Clifton, you say basement. Nope. X-Ray, you say those Camp Motion Pictures DVDs had some great features. They most certainly did. Better than the actual films. I miss their stuff too, Uncle Bill. I agree there. Patrick, you say, I love the so bad, so good horror movies. Me too, which is a big reason why I started doing celluloid trash. X-Ray, you say, Splatterform had a great release by them. The Polonias even went back to show the actual farm they filmed in. Yeah, exactly. Uncle Bill, you say, I think they did like Splatter Farm, Wood Chipper Massacre, some high school movie. Uncle Bill, didn't they do Cannibal Camp Out as well? Wasn't that one of John McBride's movies that and I know Wood Chipper Massacre was one of John McBride's, but I'm pretty sure Cannibal Camp Out was too. Good artwork, yeah, I agree. X-Ray, you say Marker John had a good point at the end too. They get trashed, but at least they made something, which is more than a lot of wannabe filmmaker critics. Exactly. But I don't know what happened to John McBride. X-Ray. Does anybody know? Uncle Bill, do you know? Maybe Uncle Bill is usually a. TJ, you say same guy that did Campbell Camp Out and Wood Chipper Massacre. I thought so. Yeah. Okay. And Uncle Bill says, yep. So, well, gang, this has been fun. This is like the old days here. Got a lot of chatter in the chat, or a lot of talking in the chat. Had quite a few people in here. Hopefully the people that didn't get to watch this will watch this on the replay. But TJ, Uncle Bill, X-Ray, Clifton, Patrick, Tom, Vic. I don't want to miss anybody. I was thinking there was somebody else, but I'm pretty sure there was somebody else. Tales Told. I want to thank all of you guys for being in here with me tonight. Oh, Gory Tiger and the Poet. All you guys, and if there were any gals that were watching along, now I've got 12 people in here. I kind of hate to go, but I've kind of talked about everything that I had planned to talk about. Just kidding, but isn't that what always happens? Yeah. He's a pastor now in Utah, Uncle Bill? Wow. I did not know that. Did not know. But then you said, just kidding, but isn't that what always happens? It does a lot, people get, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but sometimes when people get born again, they sometimes want to forget their horror past. And X-Ray, you say, bullshit, time to talk about 1990 covers. Well, hey guys, if you got a clamoring for me to talk about 1990 covers, hey, I'll do it. I'll do it, gang. I will do it. Next week, I am going to be talking about why we love video stores and why we still love video stores, if many of them are still around. But if there's a clamoring for me to do 1990 Fave VHS, horror VHS covers, hey, I'll do it. X-ray, you said like Linda Blair, she went full of veg at a recent con. Will said, Jesus, that woman. I don't know what's happened to Linda Blair. I mean, I try to have respect for the woman, but I hear more and more stuff about her all the time. X-ray, you say she forgot her horror past and her past Carlin Rick James balls. Oh, anyway, thank you guys. Y'all have been having me laughing all the way to the bank today or tonight. But thank you guys for being in here with me as I talked about these horror VHS covers from 1989. Stay tuned tomorrow night when I will be doing a horror movie rewind. See you, Patrick. Horror movie rewind, where I'm going to be talking about as many goofs and trivia from Halloween 1978, the original John Carpenter classic, that I can dig up. Okay. And Thursday will be another They're All Messed Up. And then Friday is the Evil Dead Chick's Hideous Halloween Slumber Party. So bring the pizza and bring your best sleepwear. And let's have a good time Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, because we're going to be watching 3 Halloween movies. Halloween, Halloween 2, and yeah, you guessed it, Halloween 3 with the irresistible Tom Atkins. Getting all the ladies, including Stacey Nelkin, and battling it out against a madman who wants to create these masks to make kids' heads implode on Halloween and send creepy crawlies like snakes and spiders and roaches and stuff out after their parents. So look forward to that coming up Friday. Vic, you say Linda Blair getting pregnant by Rick James is odd. Linda Blair, yeah, you don't hear a lot about Linda Blair anymore, Tom, and I think that's probably the way Linda Blair wants it nowadays. X-Ray, you say he wrote 2 songs about her. Both were his major hits, LOL. Was Super Freak written about her, X-Ray? I'm just wondering. Clifton, you say, I'll have something to eat with me. All right, yeah. I don't know what I'm going to have. The last time we had a slumber party, I had pizza. So Friday night, yeah, that's starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, folks. We'll be watching 3 movies, so have plenty of caffeine on you too, as well, or your beverage of choice. If you're in the comfort of your home, you can drink whatever you want, right? And if anybody wants to join me live on the stream, hey, I'd love to have you guys and gals on here. As many as people as humanly possible get packed in here that night. And hopefully we wouldn't break the internet. Okay. So I'm out of here for now, folks. But as always, I'm off like a dirty shirt. This shirt ain't dirty, but I'm off like one. And I want to remind everybody, as I always do before I get off of here for the night, to be kind to one another and blaze that trail. See you, X-Ray. And so get out there, blast some Aussie folks, and try your best to live the Aussie way. And what do I mean by that? Don't stay stuck in the past, folks. Stick to the present, move forward into the future, and never, ever give up on your dreams. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday night, folks. Getting ever closer to Friday, gang. I love each and every one of you out there, and I'll see everybody next time.